As you all know, a murder has taken place in the manor. It's devastating, especially as the headset was just about to turn a year old. One of you are the owner of this weapon, and I will find out who.
The Invisible Hours review for the PlayStation VR.
Let's begin!
I'm going to be reviewing this game slightly differently. I'm combining the gameplay and immersion into one, as I believe it will be better to explain. You are a passive observer watching people walk around a manor in real time. A murder has taken place inside this manor, and you can go wherever you want at any time and watch the people interact with each other or objects. To follow them you teleport, or you can select a character and let the game teleport you to locations near them for you. It's pretty good at putting you in a good position most of the time, but it's obviously a lot better to freely teleport yourself. Doors fade away when you want to teleport. It does break the immersion slightly, but is understandable as a gameplay element. I was quite overwhelmed with the amount of guests in the manor when I first arrived, and thought it'd be hard to remember who was who. But it doesn't take too long. They are all very distinct from one another, and their voiceovers also suit the people they are playing.
Nobody's going anywhere!
I can't be here! I mean, what are people going to say?
They'll say Tessa had himself an accident.
Oh, this was no accident. He died from a blow to his head, and the blood has only started congealing around the edges. This happened less than 10 minutes ago.
As you can follow anyone at any time, I thought it would be best to follow just one character on each playthrough, so that I really understood their own story completely. It was quite hard to do this, because when you walk past doorways and hear a part of a conversation from inside another room, it really does make you curious. Even more so when two characters are shouting at each other. Everything really does flow in real time, and it is an incredible experience. How characters' stories overlap is brilliant, and a lot of thought has gone into it. It's amazing to see how everyone perceives each other, and a simple action someone has done can have drastic consequences, and make someone believe something that isn't true. This is also true for yourself. You may think someone is bad, only to find out when following them that you didn't know the whole story. The game has drama, intense moments, action scenes, and some very shocking moments. When these important scenes play out, music is heard, and it really does immerse you in the moment more.
Stop! Turn around!
You also find out more information about the guests from interacting with newspapers and diary entries. Even reading these can change your thoughts on a person. Pressing the X button will have a person read the text out to you, but it is easily readable if you bring it closer to your face. As well as these two items, there are also other collectibles, such as photos and items of interest. These too can be picked up and inspected if you want. The manor also has a lot of other items in each room that you can pick up if you want. You have the ability to pause, rewind, and fast forward time. This does come in handy as the hallways and stairways can be quite long, and does take the characters quite a while to walk up and down them. Pausing time is also useful for grabbing something out of the character's hand if you want to take a closer look. The guest animations are very fluid, and great care has gone into the facial animations. Unfortunately, the game is quite blurry, and you can't see facial features if they are far away from you. It's such a shame too, as the characters are the main star of this game. Looking up at the people on the stairway, they look like they had a mannequin head. It's not too much of a problem because you can position yourself wherever you want, but it did break the immersion from time to time. The real aim of this game is watching each character's stories play out, and not just to see who the murderer is. That is certainly not the end of the game, and I can't express enough how much I want to go back in and watch everyone else's stories. To help you know who you have followed at certain times, it is recorded on your main menu. In the main menu you have a map of the manor, which displays the characters' locations if you have seen them at that current moment in time. It also displays the game's collectibles counter and gives you access to them again if you have collected them before. This area also shows you items of interest that you have inspected. You can also use the bar on the map to jump to any moment in time and can teleport to any location in the manor. The loading times are quite quick when you do this. Now let's take a look at the setup and what controllers the game supports. I played this game in a seated position just under 2 meters away from the camera. The head tracking was perfect and I did not get motion sickness. The game can be played with either the DualShock controller or 2 Move controllers. The Move controllers do enable you to pick up objects and hold them, but I found teleporting around slightly faster with the DualShock, as you only have to look where you want to teleport to, instead of pointing with the Move controller, so most of my time with the game was spent with the DualShock controller. Now let's take a look at the length of the game and what trophies come with it. Because of the fast forward and rewind feature, everyone's game time is going to be very different, but it took me around 5 hours and 15 minutes to follow all of the characters. I'm not going to show the 37 trophies that come with this game, as it would ruin the stories, but what I can say is that they are done extremely well and are rewarded for seeing key moments in the game, as well as for getting the game's collectibles. There is a platinum trophy included, and should be easy enough to get if you invest the time. And now it's time for the verdict. This game really isn't for everyone. If you like games with a lot of gameplay, you're not going to find it here. I really haven't shown too much of the events that take place in the game, because if this game does appeal to you, I really want you to go in blind and experience the same shocks as what I did. This is a completely new type of game for the VR. I did completely lose myself to the world it's set in. I honestly couldn't wait to jump back into the game and watch another character's story play out. Everyone's stories have been given so much thought, and how they overlap really makes you think. If you do decide to visit this manor, I recommend following the detective on your first playthrough, because he interviews the other characters and it is a nice introduction of what the game has to offer. This is by far one of the best story-based games on the PlayStation VR, and is a great example of new types of experiences we can have in a virtual world. I give The Invisible Hours a score of 8 out of 10.
It appears that you are all in the clear, as some new evidence has come to light. This card was found on the headset, but what could it mean?
This really is a brilliant experience that you should check out for yourself. It's perfect for relaxing to in the evenings. If you enjoyed this review and found it helpful, please hit that like button